Well, welcome to CAPECAST. Alan, how you doing tonight?
I'm good, as always. How about you, Brandon?
Doing well, can't complain. Just getting this week started with you here on CAPECAST. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah,
My
it's my Tuesday.
our co-host is absent tonight. I'm not exactly sure what he has going on. I know that there's a Hawks game involved at some point this week. He says that he has something going on every night. So, well, it's usually sports related if he's going to be absent. So I'm just making an assumption. But yeah, so Alan's here with me tonight, and we got a decent slate of stuff to talk about, and finally going to get to hear your thoughts on a particular movie that you got around to seeing, thanks to
I
HBO
did.
Max.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have to get to that towards the end of the episode. So everybody I know that everybody's kind of waited on bated breath right now just to get your opinion on things. So we'll tease them along, make them wait. Before we get started, though, please be sure to hit the subscribe notification bell here on YouTube. That way, anytime we're going live, whether it's CapeCast or CiNEMACHiNE or Criterion Corner. They don't really go live over there, but sometimes they do. Yeah. Other than that, just follow us. As far as CapeCast, follow us on Twitter at CapeCast Show, and then CiNEMACHiNE. You can just go to CiNEMACHiNEpod.com. There you'll find links to pretty much every social platform that we partake in, and then you can also find us on Patreon at CiNEMACHiNEpod. If you feel free to, so inclined to throw us some dollars, we'll gladly accept them. It kind of keeps the ship afloat, as they say. So, yeah. Got all that out of the way. I was gonna surprise you and be like, Alan, why don't you handle social? But I didn't want to do that to you. So.
I've actually every week I kind of look over that just in case you throw it at me. So
yeah, smart. Keep you on your toes.
Yeah.
So James, real quick, had a little comment he dropped in the chat here. I tried a second round of the Batman on HBO Max, and the needle didn't move at all. It's behind BVS, Dark Knight, and Batman Begins. Interesting. Yeah, I haven't myself. I haven't watched it since it's gotten on HBO Max. I only saw it once in theaters, and I guess unsurprisingly, maybe, or maybe not unsurprisingly, I don't know. I'm just not motivated to watch it again. Not yet. Now, I don't want Alan to kind of give his thoughts just yet. We'll get there.
Yeah,
but he did watch it this week, thanks to HBO Max. So we'll get his thoughts. But yeah, I mean, I've been very candid about my feelings about the movie. Didn't hate it, but just didn't. I wasn't over the moon about it, like a lot of people were. So yeah. I would agree with you, James. I think that it's definitely behind those for sure. For me, it's even behind Dark Knight Rises. So, and a lot of Batman stuff it's behind personally. Unfortunately, because I was excited about it. But anyway, but yeah, I guess if since we got the formalities out of the way, then we can get to some news. And speaking of Batman, there was a little bit of I don't think this was intentional, but this popped up online and it's still online. So as long as it's not being taken down, I think it's okay for us to talk about.
Yeah.
Because set photos and other things that already popped up. So, but we'll see. If we get it taken down, we get it taken down. Not really going to sweat it. But yeah, the first full image of Michael Keaton as Batman from The Flash and seemingly the Batgirl movie has leaked. And maybe since I put that background in there, it won't get flagged. Maybe they because we're a small show. They're not. It's not like they're seeking out CapeCast. And if they are, then that's good. It's good on us for that important. Alan, your thoughts? We kind of had already seen set photos of this, but your thoughts on this full suit reveal?
I don't know. It looks very similar to the to the Batman Returns suit. I know it's not identical, but
Mhm.
it's close enough to where the average moviegoer is not going to notice a difference between the two.
Sure.
And you know, it is exactly what we thought it was going to be. I believe anyway. I mean, just from the teaser trailer that we saw way back when at Fandom, you know, we all kind of knew this was the suit that was probably going to be coming. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't,
I don't know.
like James said, it didn't move my needle any. You know, it didn't move the needle. It's still right where it was. You know, so.
Word. Well, me personally, I am the person that prefers the Batman Returns suit over the 89. I prefer the logo over that.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people really love the 89 logo. I prefer this one. So I'm glad that it's kind of in keeping with that. And that return suit was also a little more like angular in terms of like its like chest piece and abdomen area.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of, it seems to be a natural kind of evolution of that return suit.
That's what I was going to say. It looks kind of like the, you know, like we had with Man of Steel to BVS. To the untrained eye, it looks very, very similar. There's just, you know, a few things here and there, you know, but yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, and, you know, I'm, you know, as excited as I can be, I am excited to see Keaton back in the fold. We've kind of beaten a dead horse when it comes to our thoughts on the intentions of all that. But hopefully by the time, and we got a lot more time to wait until this movie comes out. So hopefully by the time that rolls around, I will have been able to kind of put my little differences aside with this project and what and I'm sure you kind of feel the same way. What I feel the motivations are behind this whole movie. Hopefully I'm wrong, and hopefully I can get excited about it because I should be. We've said that many times. We should be over the moon excited about the prospect of Keaton coming back as Batman. So anyway, yeah, so that's cool. It was cool to see something other than, you know, those like blurry set photos from the Batgirl, not from the Flash. But yeah, this is seemingly the suit that will appear in both of those movies. Still no word yet on how far the Batgirl will get pushed back. I mean, or that it's been pushed back at all, but I assume it's going to kind of would make sense.
With it, I don't know, with it being a smaller production, I don't, you know, on HBOMax, I just don't, I mean, it may not get pushed back.
Yeah. I think it will. I think it has to, considering that it's Keaton and Commissioner Gordon as far as J.K. Simmons commissioner. I think like the nature of that movie seems very obvious that it's taking place after the events of The Flash. So I just don't see them putting it out prior.
And did they actually give a release date for the Girl series or movie or whatever it is that they're doing?
I thought it was, I mean, I just thought it was like fall 2022. I don't know if they gave an exact date, but I think that was the projected date. But that was before, you know, all the shuffle. So we'll see how that transpires going forward. So, but
James, it would definitely spoil.
That's kind of the train of thought with all of it. So we'll see. Yeah, moving on to a little bit more. We kind of briefly touched upon the Batman earlier, but the Batman has hit 750 million at the global box office, and obviously, as we kind of mentioned, it is now on HBO Max. I know a lot of people. It's weird seeing the like online discourse about whether this is a success or a failure when it comes to box office. I see it as a success personally. Given the time that it came out, and a few different factors going into it, the runtime, and it's not really that kid friendly of a movie. Well, not at all, honestly. And so you're limiting your demographic when it comes to things like that, unless you put out something that like the Joker that's going to be like that has a like some sort of sense of mystique around it. There's a lot of different things that with the Joker that played into its success. I mean, on top of it being a great movie, there was a lot of things that contributed to that. And I'm not saying that this isn't a good movie. It is a good movie, but I think that it just timing could have played a factor in it. And then I think the length definitely did. I don't think you got a lot of repeat viewings from people. I know there are obviously the anomalies in that equation. I know a few people that returned to see it, but with that length, I think it didn't inspire a lot of repeat viewings. I know it did for me,
so
but I have my own qualms with the movie in general, so I wasn't. Even if I was over the moon about it, I'm not a person who's in a position of like having the time to go back for repeat viewings, which was what was so great about the HBOMax day and date stuff. Just being able to have like Dune, I saw that weekend and watched it, a day later at home a few times. But unlike the Suicide Squad, where you could blame a few factors, like it being day and date, this one you couldn't. So I know that some people were using that as comparison, and they're comparing it. Obviously, a lot of people are comparing it to, box office for other previous projects, like Man of Steel and BVS and Suicide Squad. People that want to compare it to some of those movies. So it's not really apples to apples, but people are going to do that regardless. But I think it's still $750 million with no China box office. It's still pretty good, I would say.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and like I mentioned, it is on HBOMax. If you didn't get a chance to see it, and you do have that, or you're looking to subscribe to HBOMax, it is on there. And I've seen a lot of pushing for that. As of late.
I've seen quite a few ads.
Yeah. So cool. If you, Alan is one of those people wasn't able to catch it in theaters and watched it in the comfort of his home, like a normie.
Yep. It was nice. I will say that much.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I got to watch it at home. That's not a knock or a jab. It's just facts on that one.
Right on. Well, cool. I'm interested to get your thoughts on it, as are all the other listeners out there. So just hang on. We'll get there. Now, Alan, I know that you are a Doom Patrol fan, as far as the HBO Max show. I have yet to watch any of that, so I'm kind of gonna lean on you a little bit for this one. But they're doing a spinoff of the Dead Boy Detectives as well at HBO Max. Now, I know nothing, so the floor is yours. What is this?
Well, they helped out on, I think, 2 episodes in this last season. They were the cool thing about Doom Patrol, for the most part, each episode is almost self-contained. They do have a central.
I think we just lost Alan. Alan, can you hear me?
We kind of went out there. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I was like, oh, I don't know if that's
I can hear you now.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. But but no, the show. I don't know how I feel. I mean, that episode was pretty cool. They kind of went to like almost like purgatory to go get everybody that had died. Because the entire team had died. I think I'd have to go back and rewatch it, but I don't know. I mean, if it's done in the same vein as Doom Patrol, then I'm on board. I love Doom Patrol. It's by far, I know a lot of people talked about Peacemaker, and I enjoyed watching it, but this Doom Patrol is, in my opinion, it's 100 times better than Peacemaker.
I have heard more positive things about Doom Patrol than, say, like Titans, as far as those shows that kind of spawn from DC Universe.
Doom Patrol knows what it is. You know what I mean? And it just rolls with it. And it's self-deprecating. It's got Brendan Fraser in it too. So
yeah, it's a plus for sure. Apparently, Apparently, this one is going to be helmed as far as showrunner by Steve Yockey, who did The Flight Attendant, also at HBO Max.
Okay.
And also in like the producer realm, you've got Greg Berlanti, who's obviously synonymous with a lot of those CW DC projects. Sarah Schechter, who did You, I think that's a Netflix joint. Lee Tolan Krieger, Superman and Lois. So, and then Dave Madden is also, he's a Superman and Lois producer too. So,
Hey, Tony.
hey, what's up, Tony? So yeah, we'll see. I mean, obviously, it's not something that is necessarily perking my ears up because I haven't been watching Doom Patrol. So, but I'll rely on you when it comes out because you watch everything.
Yeah, there are other characters that I would have loved to have seen before these guys, get their own spinoff from Doom Patrol. But like I said, it's as long as it stays in line with that same feel that Doom Patrol has, then it'll be good. I mean, and Doom Patrol's just, I don't know. It's just a fun show. I just wish that it's on like Deadpool level as far as the F-bombs and everything. Like, there's no way possible I could watch it with Cal, but I wish that I could, because it's just that good a show. It's just a fun show to watch.
Yeah. I don't know why this reminded me of that, but have you used do you use Vudu? The like digital movie platform? They have this like family mode that you can do for movies. Then you can tell them what stuff you want to avoid, whether it's profanity or sexuality type stuff. And they have it for specific titles, I guess. Like they go through and like determine what's considered what in those categories, and it'll automatically like edit that stuff out. I've tried it on a few things. It's pretty jarring. It's not like, especially when it's just like language, instead of just doing like a beep, it'll just like skip. So it's a little weird, but when you said that, it made me think of, I mean, they've got to come up with some sort of like thing that you can activate to be like, hey, all right, I want to watch this, but not with this type of content, so I can watch it with my kid.
Yeah, and I actually looked into it with the Suicide Squad, and they didn't offer it with that. So
yeah, some movies are definitely harder to do that than others. Suicide Squad would definitely be one. So we'll see how that goes. I think that's it for the DC front. Moving on to some Marvel stuff. Got a few things across the pond there. Obviously, Doctor Strange is coming up pretty soon, and they finally released the rating, which is no surprise, it's PG-13. But I guess the interesting thing was the frightening images and violence, which is a plus, because we've kind of talked about in recent episodes that we're hoping that they can kind of do some more, like push the envelope a little bit with the, especially when you've got somebody like Remy involved. You hope that they're going to be able to kind of use those sensibilities that he has in the horror genre, put that to good work. So
yeah,
this is good news for me. I know that we've kind of talked about, at least I have, with like expectations for like Moon Knight, hoping that it was going to be more in that realm, and it's kind of been not as much as I would have wanted it to be, in the kind of, more brutal, terrifying realm, based on the initial trailers. Still enjoying it, but just, having to put that, get those expectations in check. But yeah, any thoughts on that rating? I know it's not a surprise that it's PG-13, but just to see that, they actually do have some of those little things that are typically, okay, this is interesting.
Hopefully that
pays off.
I don't know. I'm still kind of holding out hope for Doctor Strange because of that, the Multiverse of Madness, because it's in theaters as well. Like, you're going to have to pay to go see this, it's rather than, having your subscription to Disney Plus and your kid just flipping it on and starting to watch it. This is, I don't know. I'm kind of holding out that this is similar to what we saw kind of like with the Batman or something. It pushed it for sure. But I don't know. It's still Marvel at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
you're going to get what
There is that
you're gonna get
caveat.
what you get. You know, the
Yeah.
mouse, as long as the mouse has got his hand in it, you know, it's not ever going to go too dark, I don't believe.
It's true. It's true. We'll hope for the best. But I will say this: I talked about that little featurette that they put out. Was it last week or the week before? I can't remember. And watching that did get me a little more interested than I have been. And again, I think, and I'm hoping that they're just holding back, and I hope that pays off. But I'm just not as like hooked on the movie itself just yet as I was with like Spider-Man No Way Home. So
yeah, like I said, there were just so many leaks with No Way Home that it had the hype level at like 1 million, and there's just been no leaks for the Multiverse of Madness, like nothing. I mean, that's I don't know, it's kind of exciting, but at the same time, you know, I wish there were little nuggets here and there that might have snuck out, you know, to build it a little more.
I agree. I think maybe I mean it's May 6th is the release date, so we still got a few weeks. I think that once people they'll start screening this, and some of that hype will start to kind of get driven up a little bit more.
I think so.
I'm not hoping for leaks. I'm not hoping for reveals. I'm not necessarily saying that I want that. I'm just saying that. And I kind of am repeating myself a little bit, but with No Way Home, you at least already knew you were getting old Spider-Man villains in this. And so you had that like, okay, that if they're there, then this means that this could be, and then, you know, so on and so forth. But with this one, they've been holding things back pretty closely. So there's not really anything to lean on besides like Xavier. So, and other thing, if you look closely, but as far as like, you know, there are definitely things in there, but not things that are like as exciting.
You still have no clue where it's going. Like, I mean, I have no idea what's going to happen with this movie, and that's, I don't know. I mean, like you said, we kind of knew a direction that Spider-Man was going at this point in the game, you know, and we have no clue, and we're 2 weeks away, you know, so.
Right. We'll see how it goes. All right. One more little thing about in the Marvel camp that was interesting to me, maybe to you. Iron Man 3's Guy Pearce says he would very much be interested in coming back to the MCU. And the reason why I kind of bring this up is not necessarily that I think he should or that he will come back. I'm interested to get your take on Iron Man 3 because I know that's kind of one of the like hot button movies in the MCU fandom. I personally enjoy it. I don't think that I guess the little bait and switch that they pulled with the Mandarin was a bad thing. I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty clever personally. And I liked Guy Pearce's character. Now it's not a movie that I return to a lot. But it's not because I didn't think it was good. I like Shane Black. I think he's a good director. I think he writes great dialogue. And obviously there's the Christmas connection. I'm a sucker for Christmas movies, and Shane Black also is apparently. So yeah, I mean, I really enjoy Iron Man 3 personally, and I was just curious what your thoughts were.
With Shane Black, I thought the exact same thing when it was announced that Robert Downey Jr. was bringing him in to do this. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is like, I don't know, it's just a fun. I love that movie. It's hilarious. I've probably watched it. I don't know. I don't even know how many times I watched that movie, but I enjoyed it so much that it had me like, because Iron Man 2 was so weak that, you know, I wasn't looking forward to an Iron Man 3 until they made that announcement. So I don't know if maybe my liking of Shane Black at that point made me like the movie more than I actually would have if somebody else were involved. But I didn't mind the Mandarin switch out. You know, I thought it was pretty funny. Trevor, he was hilarious. Aldridge Killian, I thought that guy did a good job with him. I liked his motives in the whole thing. You know, I like that. I like that kind of bad guy that doesn't let go. You know, that holds that grudge and, you know, lets it eat him alive. But there were parts of it that weren't perfect for sure. But I like the PTSD side story that was going on. That was a big deal. I thought Robert Downey Jr. killed that too. I mean, I don't know. It wasn't as good as Iron Man 1, but it destroyed Iron Man 2. So
Well, I mean, a lot of people the criticism usually is lobbied at the Mandarin thing, and I guess there's not a ton of Iron Man in the movie because you have that initial set piece, and then he's out of the suit for a good portion of it, and then when he does that rescue mission, I guess he just has like the gauntlet or whatever, from what I remember, and then there's millions of Iron Men and women, I guess.
Yeah, the Iron Legion or whatever. They're at the end. Yeah,
at the end. And I don't know. I enjoy it. I'm excited. I mentioned that we're doing an MCU rewatch right now with the kiddo. So I'm excited to return to these because a lot of them, like Iron Man 3, I remember enjoying. Even Doctor Strange, like that's one that I've seen maybe 1 or 2 times, but really enjoyed. Just haven't gotten around to returning to it. So
well, that's the thing. There's so much content within the MCU. It's hard to pick which ones to go back to, and it'll be fun watching. I know you'll have fun watching that one with Luna. I know we actually caught it on a channel. I don't know when, just a couple of weeks ago, and Cal said something about it being the picture that they used of Happy in Spider-Man No Way Home. You know, it was the Pulp Fiction Halloween costume. You know, he remembered that. You know, so I love that my kid sees stuff like that.
Yeah, that's cool. But yeah, I mean, all these actors, when they get asked these questions, they always say, I mean, of course they're going to want to return. I mean, why wouldn't they? But as far as if they will pop up at some point, who's to say? I guess it'll be a wait and see. But mainly that was, I just wanted to include that just to get your thoughts on that because it's not often that we get to talk about that one. And I know that. Yeah. What are you gonna say?
I was gonna say, surprise, surprise. I loved it. Yeah. There we go.
I appreciate it as well. So you're in good company there. All right. Star Wars. Just one little quick thing that I saw this week. Liam Neeson was being interviewed and was asked if he would ever return or want to return. Speaking of them asking, there's any of those like people that play any sort of Star Wars, Marvel, DC character in any of the project they're working on, they're going to get asked about returning. A lot of people have speculated that Qui-Gon would return as a Force ghost in the Obi-Wan show, and he says that he would return. He would be open to it. I'll just read the quote. He says, I think so. Yeah, I think so. If it was a film, I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to TV, I must admit. I just like the big screen, Qui-Gon. I can't believe it's 24 years since we made Star Wars The Phantom Menace. I just cannot believe where the time has gone. It was a terrific experience shooting the film in London. You can tell that he's like an older actor when he doesn't value the TV side of things, because that was definitely the mindset years ago. But there's also tinfoil hat. There could be him just trying to throw people off the scent.
Yeah,
because I feel like there's a good chance that he could be returning in Obi-Wan. Same way that I feel like the whole Darth Maul thing could be misdirection. I think that we could see Darth Maul too. But we'll see. I don't know. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I guess my thing with Neeson is, I haven't watched his last couple of outings.
Most people haven't.
But seems like he might be getting hard up for some money. So I don't think he should be looking down on the TV stuff all that much. But
it's
or
not
on the
like it
small
would
screen
be
for sure.
a big commitment for him to come back in the capacity that you would expect him to come back.
Dude, they could throw up a green sheet in his bedroom and he could film whatever scenes they needed, and he'd make, so many millions of dollars to do it. Why wouldn't you? But I don't know. But I'm like you, he could, because it seems kind of dickish, what he said there, even though I know he's an older actor and the stigma that came behind small screen acting. But I'm kind of like you, he could just be, throwing people off the scent. So
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see.
We shall see indeed. Okay. Were you able to see Fantastic Beasts this weekend?
Negatory, good buddy.
I know that you're wanting to. I didn't see it either, and apparently a lot of people didn't because it had its lowest opening in the Potter franchise, which honestly, we talked about this last week. We talked about it on CiNEMACHiNE. I didn't really expect this to do super well, and didn't really seem like Warner Brothers had much faith in it either. I don't know. I haven't been able to, as seemingly like a lot of people, I just haven't been able to connect with this franchise after Potter wrapped. And I mean, I know that there's talk of them maybe, if they don't continue to make features with this prequel property, maybe HBOMax. I don't know. Me personally, I don't care. I don't know how you feel about it.
I'd be much more apt to watch it if it would have been same day on HBO Max. I mean, Mandy and I might would have sat down and watched it in the living room.
And I guess the silver lining that I've heard is that it is the best of this prequel franchise.
And I've seen that too. Yeah.
And I will, 45 days, I'll watch it at home. Yeah. I've only seen Crimes of Grindelwald once. I've seen the first Fantastic Beasts once.
Yeah.
I think I may have,
but I think I might have seen both of those twice. Once like with full attention, and then the other time just kind of had it on while we were doing other things around the house, straightening up or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like you said, if it's like having a Superman movie and Superman not being in it, or whatever, it's still the Potterverse, so
it is, but like just as far as like, it doesn't have that, like, no pun intended, magic. Like it doesn't have that whimsical, I know it's a little bit more of a serious tone, which I'm for, but there are, there's not a lot of, like with Harry Potter, obviously you had the kid element, so it was easy.
Yeah.
It had that like Amblin Entertainment type, adventure feel. These just seeming, it's just all adult characters interacting, not a lot of like characters like Hagrid that's like this big burly, like, oaf type character. You don't have it like the villain, like having Voldemort as a villain, like this serpent looking white pasty noseless creature as a villain, versus like Grindelwald is just had 3 different looks so far, like all human except for I guess Depp was like pasty white, but other than that, there just doesn't, there's not like a I know that the first one really focused on the beast element, the Fantastic Beast of creatures, but even that just didn't, I don't know. Newt Scamander wasn't a character that was super endearing to me. I didn't really care about his storyline. I cared more about the Credence storyline and Colin Farrell, who ended up being Grindelwald. Though that side was interesting, and I wish Farrell had just continued throughout the entire thing instead of how they had to go about it. But Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Same.
James is saying that his wife loves those movies, though, so I know how she feels when she has to watch BVS with me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I assume he's talking about these movies.
Yeah. The Harry Potter movies. Yeah. He said earlier in the comments he can never get into them. So
gotcha.
And that's the thing. Like, I love the Potter franchise.
Same.
And like I said, we went to New York and saw The Cursed Child, and we spent thousands of dollars at the Wizarding World at Universal Studios not that long ago.
And I mean, we've talked about that as well. Like, I feel like if anything, the failure of this franchise, the Fantastic Beasts franchise, is just going to expedite them putting the pressure on the old cast to return for Cursed Child. Well, I know that they've kind of been resistant, or at least, Radcliffe has, or he wants to wait, 30 years or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be quicker than
I think so too. I'd say within the next 10 years, like we'll have it, because I mean, don't get me wrong, Radcliffe, he's steadily working, he's putting stuff out too. May not always be the best quality.
Rupert Grant's really the only one that's not working as much. I think he was in that Servant show.
Yeah, and he was, what was it? The Snatch series that was on
okay.
FX. He was on that as well.
Gotcha.
With, I think Ron Perlman was in that with him, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I didn't watch it, so I don't know. But yeah, and then Emma,
Yeah, I know Emma was in Little Women recently.
Yeah.
I don't know what she's in since then, but obviously Beauty and the Beast before that. But
that's what I was going to say. Disney's still got the golden handcuffs on her, so she'll be popping something else out for Disney before too long.
Yeah. Okay, here's another one that is going to be more for you than I. But there was a little video that came out from Stephen Yun back in the recording booth for Invincible Season 2. I know that's probably exciting for you and Ryan as well, and a lot of people that enjoyed this show.
Very much. Yeah.
Did you watch that video?
I did. I watched a little clip. It wasn't, there wasn't a whole lot to it, but it just, it got me ready for a rewatch. So I'll be fresh.
Yeah. I wanted to stick with this, and it's not a quality thing. It's nothing. I mean, I enjoyed the stories as far as I got into it. I just, for whatever reason, I can't deal with this type of animation. It's just not my jam. I'm not taking a dig at people that enjoy it. Obviously, a lot of people do. I didn't grow up watching like anime style animation. And so I definitely prefer more like fluid animation. And so, I just couldn't track with it. I need that visual element when it comes to animation for me to latch onto it, even though, like I said, I enjoy the story. But
just the voice cast,
great voice cast.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I'm definitely excited. I'm gonna go back soon and start a rewatch. It's on my list because we're kind of in like a lull of new stuff at the moment. So I'm doing some rewatches. I've got Invincible. I started some other stuff. We'll talk about it later with The Witcher and things like that.
Yeah. Cool. And then real quick, video game related, kind of. It was announced that Jason Momoa is going to star in a live action Minecraft movie. I have never played Minecraft. I think I've aged out of those types of games. But obviously, lots and lots of people play Minecraft. It's interesting that they're going to do a live action Minecraft. I don't know what that looks like visually, but if Jason Momoa is a part of it, I enjoy Jason Momoa and his eyebrows. I know Al, excuse me. Al does not enjoy Jason Momoa, but I do.
I do too.
I'll watch this at home, especially since I have kiddos around that do play this game.
Yeah,
and will definitely be interested when this comes out. So, does your kids play? They play Minecraft?
Yes, they both are pretty hardcore. I don't even know what the term would be for somebody who plays Minecrafters. I don't know what,
Probably.
I don't know what that, yeah. But yeah, I told Cal, I was like, so Jason Momoa is gonna in talks to star in a new live action Minecraft movie, and he was like, "What?" You know, he was blown away by it. I was being more sarcastic because I'm like you. I don't know how you. I mean, part of the element of Minecraft is the whole cube, you know, nature of the game. So I don't know. I could see it. I could see it being a lot like, I don't know, Rampage maybe or something like that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, coming off of like Free Guy, I can see it like
Yeah.
this open world type,
hmm
you know, story. I mean,
Maybe
and,
so. Yeah.
and also like the Lego movie adaptations, but in live action. So it could be cool. I don't know who's behind it, who would be directing, but I'm just casually interested, just based on those factors from earlier.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And then this just dropped right before we got on. So I scurried to my computer, made a graphic just so we could talk about it, because we can't go a show without talking about Zack Snyder. And as a lot of you know, there is a new Zack Snyder project on the horizon. Production just started this week. And with that start of production, Zack has posted a few photos from the set. This one gave me... was it Jaimon Hansu? Is that how you say his name?
Dr. Midnight. That's I call him Dr. Midnight from Constantine. That's like
Gotcha.
That's my go-to with him.
I always think Gladiator personally. But yeah, so it released a few. This image gave me, and I don't know why. Maybe it's the armor. What are the like Shogun type characters from 300?
Oh yeah, the immortal. They were the Immortals, weren't they? Or
Yeah,
yeah.
I remember what they're called, but yeah, give me like those vibes for some reason. But yeah, few images from this little seemingly like a I mean, we know this is a Star Wars-ish movie that was originally pitched. This definitely has like a drop ship. This just gave me like major like Force Awakens, that first scene in what you call it, Jakku. But I'm excited for this. I've been excited. I know Ryan is like, he's a little like indifferent about it because he wants just more Justice League continuity stuff from Snyder.
Oh yeah,
he's not as interested in what he's doing over at Netflix. He is interested, but like can't get as hyped. Me personally, I also feel that way, but I am excited to see. I love the premise of a Seven Samurai Star Wars inspired Snyder flick.
Yeah, and that's I've agreed. I'm excited to see a lot of these characters in this movie have their time to shine.
Yeah,
for sure.
Another good cast.
Yeah, and the whole what is it, the Kurosawa Star Wars element. And somebody had posted something on Twitter today that was a cool comparison. Like Zach's basically getting his chance, just like George Lucas did. You know, nobody really wanted to do this kind of thing. He wanted to make a he wanted to make a Flash Gordon movie originally and couldn't do it, so he wrote Star Wars. And now Zach didn't get the chance to do Star Wars, so now he wrote Rebel Moon.
And it's honestly, this is like you were saying, it's like an untethered, like he doesn't have to play by the rules of Disney, essentially. He seemingly would have complete creative control of this.
It seems it really seems like Netflix has said, you know what, we know what his fan base is capable of. Let's let him do it. And they're going to drive this thing to the moon. You know what I mean? So Nani's in the house.
Hey, Nani. Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah,
I mean,
I am too.
I thought day one was yesterday based on what other people were saying, but maybe it's a time zone difference. I don't know where they're shooting.
Yeah.
But yeah, exciting. I'm excited. I mean, that's the thing about Snyder. He's going to start dropping bombs about this project. You know,
yeah, he doesn't hold back. Like, I mean, he doesn't hold anything back. So it's going to be awesome.
I'm excited to see. I'm here for it. All right. I think that's all on the news front. Let's get into some trailers, shall we? I guess probably the biggest trailer of note that dropped this week, highly anticipated for a lot of people, I'm sure, was the Thor Love and Thunder trailer. Alan, I'm assuming that you got to watch this trailer.
Yeah, we watched it a couple of times.
Yeah. You and the fam.
Yeah.
Well, what'd you think?
I know we touched on it yesterday in our group text. It definitely had a music video kind of feel to it, and I honestly believe that's what they were going for. I don't feel like it was supposed to. It seems to be Marvel's MO nowadays. They're not giving away anything as far as story is concerned, you know, in the trailers. You know, they're leaving a few breadcrumbs, but I'm actually genuinely interested to see where this movie goes. It seems like with you know, with the little hints here and there of, you know, Thor not having a plan, you know, he's out of the superhero game or whatever. It seems like, I mean, obviously something's going to push him back into it, but I don't know. I mean, there just wasn't much to go off of in the trailer, but I did enjoy what I did see in the trailer. It looked beautiful. You know, it was cinematic wise. It was nice. So I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, for me as well, the trailer itself felt, we kind of mentioned this, at least in our text thread, it definitely felt more like a music video with footage layered on top than a narrative trailer. But there were some things of note. I'm glad to see that he's getting back in shape, because I am not a pro Fat Thor fan, as regressive as that may sound. I'm not a fan. I'm sorry. I thought it was silly and wasn't a fan of seeing him with his fat belly underneath his Thor suit and Endgame. I thought it undermined all the levity that had kind of been established in that movie. And I was just like, I'm not here for it. I'm not here for you undermining my levity when it comes to movies with dumb jokes.
I did like the what seems like it's going to be a workout montage of him, you know, getting back in shape, and he looked
like Forrest Gump.
He's got the trucker hat that says "Strongest Avenger." You know, that's what the hat says on it. So that's pretty cool. That's a good little nod. But I agree. I mean, I get what they were trying to do with the Fat Thor thing. You know, with the, you know, he had some serious, I don't know, emotional baggage going on there that led to the weight gain. And so, I mean, there were ways that they could have done it without turning him into a fat ass, but I'm
not saying I like the joke is fine. The initial joke is fine. He's overweight. He's been eating himself to death, whatever.
Yeah.
But when he becomes Thor again, when he's got the suit back on, just let him be in shape again.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking when he called down the suit. I kind of thought he would look like he did, you know, like Bruce Banner Hulk, Billy Batson, you know, Shazam kind of thing. Like he'd just be back to normal Thor. Don't get me wrong. I did like the braided beard and everything. That was super cool.
Braided beard's fun.
That was cool. Like Viking look.
Don't mind that. Pretty cool. Don't mind that at all. I dig it.
And he still kicked ass through the whole fight. You know, it wasn't like he was out of shape out there. You know, he still held his own, but
I guess,
you know, you just couldn't get past the.
He just looked dumb. It's just dumb. I'm sorry. Like, I know that it's like there's a body positivity angle there, and I you know, whatever. He just looked ridiculous in that suit.
He's a Norse god, you know what I mean? Like, that's, you know, it's just seemed odd. You know?
No, thank you. But I'm glad he's back in shape, and I do dig the look. I mean, as much as I kind of like here's the thing, Taika Waititi, he works for me in some ways and doesn't. He works for me better than James Gunn, but he teeter-totters. And when it comes to his humor. But I'm hoping I did enjoy Ragnarok. So I'm hoping that it is more in line with that in terms of, the stylistically looks in line, humor wise. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of Taika when he was as a character, whatever character he played in Free Guy, like that. His sense of humor in that movie, I wasn't a fan of. Kind of rubbed me. It was a little abrasive. What was the flag? Our flag means death. The trailers for that didn't dig that humor in that. I know he's behind that. But loved Jojo Rabbit. So, but some of the humor in Jojo Rabbit I wasn't a fan of, but the story I loved.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where we'll see how it goes on that front. But I am excited that some of the Guardians characters are gonna be in this. And then Korg. I do love Korg. I have to admit, I'm a Korg fan. So, but yeah, and that's another thing when it comes to body positivity. We've got the MCU's version of Zeus, schlubby Russell Crowe versus Zack Snyder's Zeus. Major difference. Major difference. I do love Russell Crowe though. So
it went from man, I wish I looked like Zeus to wow, I'm glad I don't look like Zeus.
Yeah. But I am excited to see Russell Crowe. I do love him as an actor. And then they didn't show. I don't think they didn't show gore in this.
No
trailer.
About him in there.
So I'm excited for that because I love Christian Bale. I mean, who doesn't?
I'm assuming he has something to do with the death of the what was the god, the mammoth or whatever, the big rock dinosaur looking thing.
And I did see that was 1-to-1 adaptation from a comic panel.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, it was the artist. I'm not sure, somebody might know in the comment section, but that artist, he better be getting paid for that because that was identical to his panel.
Yeah, for sure.
But like you said, there are some parts of Taika's stuff that doesn't, hit every time. But all in all, I like him as a director and as a writer. Like I said, I love What We Do in the Shadows. I love Jojo Rabbit. Thor Ragnarok, in my opinion, was the best of the Thor movies. We don't talk about Dark World, but I didn't. I just couldn't handle it. So, like I said, coming off of Dark World, he was the last person I wanted to see another movie from. Thor.
Sure.
So when Ragnarok came out, it was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
I just hope they don't dive too far into the wacky zaniness of it, and
Yeah, I mean. And I hope that, like I said, I hope that there's a good mix of both. I expect there to be some outlandish humor.
Yeah.
As long as it's not kind of lowbrow, I'm there for it.
Yeah, and it doesn't. And that's something that I will say that with the exception of his character on Free Guy, which was just the character, he was playing a douchebag in that. So I mean, that was. But there wasn't really not a lot of lowbrow humor in Ragnarok. It was just more of that dry New Zealand, that humor that Taika's kind of known for. But he tends to pull heart out in places where you wouldn't expect to see it. You know what I mean? Like he can turn a scene on a dime, which is something that I really like about him. He did it several times in Jojo Rabbit. It went from being, laugh out loud hilarious to crying, within a matter of minutes, so he can do it. It just depends on what Marvel's going to let him do, I guess, is the bigger thing there.
Right. And then I guess the one thing that we should probably at least touch upon, which I kind of highlighted here in the actual thumbnail, is Jane Foster's Mighty Thor reveal in the first trailer. Not that we knew that she was going to be in the movie, but I don't think casual is new, and it's surprising that they just went ahead and just threw that out there.
Threw it out there. Yeah.
So
with then she's holding,
the
rebuilt
Mjolnir.
Mjolnir, or Jonathan, as some people call it.
Yeah.
You saw that, right?
I didn't. No.
Paul Rudd. They were asking how to pronounce Thor's hammer's name, and in one of the Avengers in-game junkets, and he said Jonathan, and that's kind of a running thing on Twitter now. They brought back Jonathan. Jonathan's back. So
interesting.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I dig. It's very, I mean, as far as the whole like rebuilding, reforging Mjolnir, it's very reminiscent of Kylo Ren's helmet in Rise. But it's cool. Speaking of actors and actresses that said they wouldn't return, here they are. They're back.
I was hovering over it, fixing to click on it, and you pulled it up. I was like, oh, there we go. But speaking of reforging and Kylo Ren, Star Wars.
There you go.
But yeah,
I didn't pull that up.
You didn't?
Nope.
I thought you did.
I didn't. But whoever did, thank you. And I agree, Nani.
I was going to say, yeah, absolutely.
We have a ghost.
Yeah, we do.
Pulling up things. But I swear I didn't pull it up.
I was on my way to it and it popped up. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And maybe Nani's made it into the admin page. She's been here long enough. So
she might as well. All right, cool. Anything else on that trailer?
No. G and F and R, man. Guns N' Roses, that had me hooked for sure. So that was fun. I'm definitely looking forward to the soundtrack. That was definitely a high point in Ragnarok for me too. So
right on. Yeah. Well, a few more months, July 8th. So not too long from now. And then one other trailer that kind of popped up recently. I wasn't sure if you watched any of this prior, but Love, Death, and Robots Volume 3 got a trailer. Did you see anything from Volume 1 or 2? Did you watch any of this stuff?
I actually just went back. I kind of perused it the first go around, so I've started a deep dive, like rewatch. Actually, today, you sent me the trailer last night, I believe, to watch, and then I started season 1. I'm about 4 episodes in on the rewatch on it.
Cool. I liked that they kind of led with all the like British drama teases and then went into this. So that was cool. But I haven't seen Volume 2 yet. Not because I haven't wanted to. I just haven't gotten around to it. I enjoyed the first season, volume, whatever. And I've heard that it just gets wackier and crazier with the second volume. And this definitely looks like it's getting wackier and crazier. And I just really, I do appreciate these little like one-off. Some of them just very obviously just like tech demo stuff, and the others just being just like crazy, wild stories that you couldn't really tell feature wise. I'm glad they're still doing this. I know that I believe that David Fincher and Tim, what's the guy that directed Deadpool? Can't think of his name. Tim Miller.
I saw it's Miller, isn't it?
I know that. Yeah, they're both still involved in this, so that's cool. As producers, but and then Tim Miller is, I think Blur Studios is his. He's got his own little like VFX house. But
you sent me this trailer, and I actually didn't read any of the tags on it. I just clicked it and clicked play, and it started rolling, and I was like, "What did Brandon send me to watch?" I was like, "Why are we talking about this?" I was like, "Oh, he meant to send this to somebody else." And then it came in, and I was like, oh, "Okay, I got you." So, but I'm like you. I don't know how long it's going to take me to do the rewatch on season 1 or volume 1 and finish volume 2, but because I mean it's not something that I can watch when the kids are around, so it's going to be a toughie to nail down time for sure. I hope to get it because the good thing is they're such short clips, 10 to I think 17 minutes, somewhere in that range. You can knock several out in one sitting. So I guess, when I do get to watch them, I'll be able to watch a few at a time. So, but yeah, I'm excited. It's been a fun rewatch so far. That's for sure. I was like, oh my God, I forgot about this. The little cleaning robot attacking the old lady,
Right.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been cool.
They're cool. So I'm definitely interested. I got to get caught back up for sure. Not that it's like a chronological thing, but still, I do appreciate those little shorts. So.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, Alan, you have a lot of things you've been watching. Me, not so much. So
I noticed that. So you
touch upon any of these?
All right. Well, again, I've been watching Spider-Man the animated series. It's been fun. They brought in Venom and Carnage at this point, and it's just there's so many points during this show that I'm like, Disney had it all laid right out in front of them. Like there's so many things that they just pulled straight from the well. That it worked on the cartoon, so that I guess they just figured, what, it'll work in a movie. So they just made it happen, and just a little nods here and there. Not just Disney, but Marvel alone. Sony's also used a lot of that source material as well. But it's fun, and Cal and I are enjoying it. It's you have those shows where you don't skip the intro and the guitar. That's Cal runs around the house the whole time that it's playing, and then we watch the show. So it's we've had a blast watching it. Like I said, I still haven't had the heart to tell him that it's going to end in like I think 8 more episodes with nothing to go on after that. So
for shame.
But so we're doing that. I'm kind of watching Young Justice Phantoms, but I've kind of been watching it more on my own. That's I don't know. At this point, it's almost like a guilty pleasure watching it. I still watch it, but it's like a soap opera. So it's not. I don't know. It's not nearly as fun. They did minor spoilers. They brought back some of the Light and Vandal Savage into the storyline, and so it's been refreshing to actually have conflict in the show. So that's been nice. And let's see here. I watched. Obviously, we're all watching Moon Knight.
Yep.
And if you guys didn't see it, we've got a review episode up. I'm sure that everybody on here has watched it. If not, go check it out.
The big episode 4 drops tomorrow. Get excited. It's going to change all our lives.
That's what I hear.
Unless Britt guessed what it was in our last week's episode and spoiled it for everyone.
Yeah. It'll still be fun to see. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. So watching that. And Mandy and I, actually we had a pretty nice little Saturday. Did
you go to Home Depot?
We actually woke up, cooked breakfast, and started The Witcher and watched season 1 and season 2.
Wow.
On Saturday, just watched the whole freaking show.
And you guys have kids?
Yeah. But see, the good thing is, Brandon, eventually your kids grow up to the point to where one can take care of the other. Like I would just text Trey and say, "Hey man, you good in there?" And he's like, "Yeah, we're fine." So he ran the house for me.
Nice.
He actually got his learner's license yesterday. So yeah, I'm old. I mean, if I wasn't feeling old before, now I've got a kid who can drive me around when I've been drinking. So
wow.
No,
like a
I didn't say
double-edged
that.
sword.
Don't say that.
Hey, I know a guy that takes advantage of that. Well,
but no, we The Witcher. The cool thing with The Witcher is it's small season, especially season 2. With the whole COVID thing, it was kind of a short, weird, chopped up season. But and they're self-contained episodes. So like while Mandy may have drooled over Henry Cavill for 14 hours, I fell asleep several times and woke up and watched another episode. And drooled over Henry Cavill myself, and went on about my business. But yeah, it's a fun show, and I know they just started filming season 3, so can't wait for that one.
Word. I have yet to watch The Witcher, and it's not because I'm not interested. I just haven't gotten around to it, and hopefully I will at some point. I'd like to.
I was not familiar with the source material at all. Mandy is actually reading the books now, not the graphic novels, but the actual book series.
Yeah,
that came out. It's weird the way this whole thing evolved. I think it was a video game first, and then it became a book series, then a graphic novel, now a TV show.
Possibly.
So she's got the book. I think she's got the first 4 books, and she's on book 3 right now. And then she's got a few of the graphic novels that we've picked up for waiting to read. And that's actually, she's talking about that being our next cosplay. So I might have to shave my beard. So yeah, and possibly work out quite a bit.
Do you have a butt chin underneath that beard?
I actually kind of sort of do, but it's been important. Years. I mean, I think 2017 was the last time I was beardless, so it's been a while. So I don't know. She's gonna get like the nice fancy wigs and everything, she wants to do it upright. But
all right.
Yeah, and Henry Cavill was the reason we started watching it. I was like, anything that he's in, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to support my guy. So
for sure.
So yeah, that was it. Other than the Batman.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, you did watch the Batman finally.
I did.
The moment that we've all been waiting for has arrived.
All of our live viewers just dropped off. Every single one. No. But okay, so I know that you and Ryan were giving me a hard time saying that I was going to love it. And, so I went into it a little, I'm not going to lie, I went into it a little jaded, whereas I was a little more excited about it until, I talked to you guys, and I know you guys didn't want to sway me too much. And you actually didn't when it came to me, actually. Well, I am a free thinker and watch a movie on my own and form my own opinions.
You say that, but you're a sheep and you do the things that we say. We affected you. We changed your opinion.
Well, I will say it was not as bad as you guys had kind of sort of led me on to believe that it was. That's and good. I get the reason behind it, because it wasn't Ben and it wasn't his story and it wasn't, it wasn't what we wanted. So I had that. Well,
that's not my qualms with it. There's definitely that does come
that jaded you, that got you before you even got to the theater. It's kind of my you know what I mean. You kind of I didn't honestly, and I know I said something about it in our group text this morning, but I was not sold on Pattinson to begin with. I've just
see. I had come to terms with it, and I was excited to see what he was going to do, because I had seen Good Time, I'd seen The Lighthouse, I'd seen a lot of these movies that he had done recently, and I was like, all right, I'm interested to see what he does. But
yeah, I didn't actually see The Lighthouse. I did see Good Times, and I had seen some of his other work. Obviously, Mandy had watched all the Twilight stuff, and we had seen him as Cedric Diggory, and when he was younger.
Yeah.
But like I said, I wasn't sold on him as Batman. I just couldn't see it. But after watching the movie, I was surprised at how well it worked. There were, obviously I had some issues with the dialogue in it. There were several, I don't know if you'll have to go back and rewatch it, because this might not be something you remember at this point, but
yeah,
I swear there were times where Pattinson had a Southern accent almost when he was talking. When he's in
something that you kind of like projected on him.
I don't think so. I was like, hey, Dave's in the chat, but I don't know.
What's up, Dave?
I will say that it was PG-13, but there were moments where I was not as comfortable letting Cal watch it as I was letting Cal watch Zack Snyder's Justice League, if that makes sense.
So did Cal watch it with you?
he hadn't finished it yet. It was his bedtime when we wrapped up the last 45 minutes or so. But gotcha. I feel like the dark tone was wasted on PG-13. I feel like they could have pushed it a little further and just went R with it. I mean, it was almost too dark to be PG-13 to begin with. And I feel like there would have been a few things that could have been a little bit better had it been R.
Yeah.
Some of the fight scenes and stuff could have been just a little more brutal. Not that they weren't brutal already, but a bone popping out here or there, a little more blood, something like that would have definitely added something.
When it came to the Riddler's traps and if you're going, that's the thing that I was kind of, and I don't want to continue to beat a dead horse, but if you've seen Seven, you've seen Zodiac, you've seen these movies that go full fledged like R and really push the envelope with, with the actual content, especially Seven. That's what I wanted out of this movie. Yeah. And it just felt like watered down that. Like
like I said, I feel like the movie would have had a completely different feel, even at the 3-hour mark. I feel like it would have worked so much better if they had been able to make those scenes just a little harder than what they had. And I know why they didn't. I mean, obviously the shelves are full of toys right now, so I know why they didn't do it.
Sure,
but still. Like I said, I mean, and I let Cal's watch ZSJL multiple times with me. And it just, I don't know. It had more. I'm trying not to sound like I didn't enjoy the movie because I did. I thought it was a good movie. I didn't think it was a great movie. I thought it was good. I thought that Pattinson did great. I thought that Colin Farrell kind of almost stole the show as the Penguin. I thought he was good. I mean, Mandy was like, well, why didn't they just cast somebody who was, more heavy set than to have, because she's a huge Farrell fan. So she was ashamed. She was sad that all those looks were covered up, but he did great. I'm actually, after watching the movie, I am excited to see his little spinoff thing that they're going to do on HBOMax.
Same.
I think it's going to be a good direction for that character to go. I love some of the tech elements of the detective lens, that he had to where he could record everything that he saw all the time. Some of those things were cool. I'm trying to remember everything. I didn't take notes when I watched it.
What about Dano as the Riddler?
There were moments where he shined through and he did great. And there were some, kind of like you guys had talked about, there were definitely some try hard moments in it for me. Basically almost anything after he was arrested, everything in Arkham, he went really, really trying to be crazy, but goofy. It kind of just went kind of wonky after that for me. Yeah. And I don't, so when Batman's walking through Selena Kyle's apartment and he looks down and the cats are rubbing all over his legs and he says, "You got a lot of cats." I have said that line 10 times since then. I laughed when I heard it, and I don't know if it was supposed to be funny, but I just laughed every time. I mean, the second he said it, I just started laughing. Mandy actually wasn't even paying attention.
He notices things.
Well, Mandy wasn't even paying attention to the movie at that point. She was just playing a game on her phone, and I just started laughing. She was like, "Oh my God, what happened?" And she looks up, and the scene's so serious. He's looking at foreclosure notices, and all this other stuff, and I'm just over there rolling laughing. And so I've said it several times. I mean, it'll just pop in my head. you got a lot of cats. You know, like that. That was just a really funny line to me.
Interesting line to get hung up on, but
yeah, I don't know why, but it just kind of stuck out to me. But I liked
what do you feel about the length? Did it feel like it breezed by? Did it feel long? Did it feel
Zack
adequate?
Snyder? I hate to I feel like I'm just comparing it to ZSJL, but it felt shorter. ZSJL felt shorter than the Batman did.
Yeah.
There were several times, you know, you kind of touch the Apple TV remote. You just graze your finger over it and it'll show you, you know, the bar at the bottom to let you know how much time you got left.
Right.
I touched that several times to see how much time there was left in the movie.
Yeah.
Not necessarily because I wasn't enjoying it, but there were some slow points in it for sure.
Sure.
And like I know we talked about it this morning, but just for everybody else, I you know, you got Zach's movies for me are the, you know, they're the top, you know, ZSJL, Man of Steel, BVS. That's my top three. And then I put Wonder Woman, the first one, immediately below it. And then it was actually the Suicide Squad for me for number 5. And then I would probably put the Batman right there with Aquaman as far as movies for me. It wasn't the best DC
so you're
movie
not
that
including you're not including like Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises, Batman Begins.
Well, I guess I was going off of now, if you're talking about Batman movies alone.
Well, just because
the Dark Knight is and it's technically not a DCEU movie.
Yeah.
So I'm going off of more of the more recent material that DC's put out, I guess, when I'm giving that. Out of the Batman movies, I don't know. I guess BVS is probably my favorite one, just because of Ben's portrayal as Batman. But and then The Dark Knight, Batman Begins, and then the Batman. I think I would throw it above. I know you said that you had The Dark Knight Rises above it, but I had a lot of issues with The Dark Knight Rises for me. I liked it, but it was not anywhere close to the other two for me. So I did put the Batman above it. I guess I would. Number 4 on my Batman movie list, I guess.
Right on.
So didn't love it.
Well,
definitely didn't hate it though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And I didn't either. I didn't hate it. I think it's a good movie. You know, there's a lot of factors that kept me from giving it the amount of praise that a lot of people have.
Yeah.
And trust me, I wanted to love it. I thought the things that I thought it would excel on, I was so sure it was going to. And that's kind of the disappointing thing, is even though it is a beautiful movie, it does remind me of a few of the movies combined into one. Unfortunately, that kind of works against it. And then some of the performances that specifically Dano's Riddler just ended up just missing the mark for me.
Like I said, if
and the Batsuit's not good, guys.
Yeah.
I can't get behind this suit. And especially it's on screen so much of this movie. I really hope he gets a better suit in the next movie. Yeah. Hopefully he will. But because I hated that suit so much, it just and he's in it all the time. And they really, especially that cowl, there's lots of close-ups of him and his stupid little nose piece. I just can't.
But you know, I tried not to focus on what the suit looked like as much as I could. Like you said, it was on screen a lot, so there were you know, you couldn't really avoid it all the time. But Paul Dano, like I said, I actually liked him as Riddler until Arkham, until he was arrested, and then he just went batshit. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't even want to see this guy anymore. Like, get him off the screen. Go away. You know, like, but and with the whole Joker stuff, for one, I was glad that they didn't include that scene in the movie, the deleted scene. because I think that it worked out well, you know, with the little teaser that you got there at the end. I didn't like or dislike that teaser, but it was that little snippet of him, you know, that you got, the little dialogue. I didn't.
It felt to me, it felt inorganic to the type of movie that this was. It felt like a Marvel stinger, where this, it just felt like it didn't belong in this type of movie.
Like I said, I was impartial to it. I didn't care that it was there. I didn't dislike that it was there. I just, you know, it was, I don't know. I kind of felt like, even though we've seen the Joker so many times in so many movies, he's just as integral to Batman as any other villain could ever hope to be. So you're not going to be able to get away from him. So I don't mind that they stuck him in there, but I'm glad that they didn't give him an entire scene. You know, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I feel you. But it looks like I haven't been able to look at the comments, but it seems like a lot of people are.
They kind of, yeah. It's as far as the recent offerings from DC, it was right there with most of the new stuff. Well, it was right. It was above most of that, and the Suicide Squad for me were above most of the newer material that we've gotten, with the exception of ZSJL. But as far as Batman goes, it's number 5 on my Batman movie list. So,
gotcha.
Like I said, I look forward to a sequel. I like Matt. I like what he's done in all of his other movies, and I actually feel like that the 8 franchise, I feel like it got stronger as it went on. So maybe that's an indication of what we're going to get. So
yeah, I like him as a director too. I mean, I've liked him since Cloverfield. I didn't see the one that he did, the horror movie that he did before the Let Me In or Let the Right One. I can't remember which one it was. But yeah, I've liked a lot of his stuff. So and definitely Dawn and War for Planet Apes. Dawn, I enjoy a little bit more than War, but still enjoy War. And that's why I was so excited when he took on this project. Obviously, I would have been more excited if Ben had stayed on, that whole thing had played out. But still, I was excited for this movie, and still think it's a good movie. It just doesn't quite live up to the hype for me, unfortunately. And I'm not super motivated, even though it's on HBO Max and I have HBO Max. I just haven't been motivated to watch it. But maybe I will.
Well,
eventually.
I will say that I was able to pause, go get something to drink, tuck Cal into bed, you know, get Trey situated and tell him goodnight and all that. I was able to do all that, you know, to kind of break the movie up. So maybe that helps with your viewing experience on the next go around. I don't know.
Possibly.
Like I said, it was a good movie. I mean, you know, but like we've talked about so many times before, I think Zack Snyder has really kind of ruined superhero movies for us, you know, like, and it's in a loving way. Yeah. In a loving way. He has really done a number on these things, because man, I get what they were trying to do. And there were so many moments in that movie where I was like, this is actually really cool. And then, you know, it's just something kind of took away from it. The next scene or whatever, you know, it just, and like, I kind of like you had spoken about before, and Ryan as well, had I not seen Zodiac, or had I not seen 7
or Batman Begins,
or Batman Begins, I would have loved this movie. You know, it would have been hell, it would have probably been nominated for an Oscar. You know, I don't know. Sure. But all those other ones that came before it and laid the path. And I know that they drew inspiration from all that. So, I mean,
and it's not a thing where, like, I'm the kind of person that thinks you can take inspiration from a thing and improve upon it. But this one just didn't do that. It took inspiration and it felt like it was aping, but not to the same level of, like, you know, expertise as those things. There's a lot to love about them, about this, but there's also like that element. It's like, yeah, but it was done better in this. And even though it's older, like, And it's something that we talk about on CiNEMACHiNE a lot. Like Al's very beholden to like older movies, and they're in, they're kind of untouchable, And for me, I'm like, yeah, it's great. I mean, I am one that thinks there's a lot of nostalgia that comes into play with those type of things, and just like source material, I'm not one of those people who's like, you have to do it exactly like the source material, or don't do it at all. It's like, okay, yeah, I mean, the source material is there as a guide, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to do a one-to-one adaptation of it. So things can be improved upon, but I just think in this instance, it just kind of fell flat in comparison to those things that it's being inspired by. So
Dave's got a question. I know we haven't really been interacting much with the comment section, but Dave was wondering what we felt about and Cat's chemistry.
I don't know. I didn't necessarily feel one way or the other. Honestly, I mean, I don't know. I guess if I didn't feel one way or the other, it didn't mean much to me.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It for me, there were moments where I can see what Dave's saying and James is saying about it. Felt forced. There were times where it did, but there were times where it felt very organic. I don't know if there were reshoots involved in much of that. I know there was some issues as far as it's hard to build chemistry, especially in the time where they filmed that movie. Shutting down for weeks and weeks because of COVID. Like you can't really forge that, I don't know, family type atmosphere. And I know that certain actors, I'd heard rumors about, Pattinson being a little difficult to work with on set at times and things like that. So I don't know what all happened with all that, but there were times that it felt real, and there were times where it felt very forced, for sure. So to answer your question, a little bit of both.
It didn't. It was one of the lesser things of my worries. Like it didn't work for me or not work in terms of like it wasn't a thing that I really put stake in one way or the other.
I like the casting. I thought that Zoe Kravitz was an excellent choice for Catwoman, especially going with that year 1, year 2 style to her character, with the short hair and everything. I felt like she was pulled right from the comic books, and I thought that she herself is a good actress. There were just parts peppered in the movie that didn't work, but on a whole, I feel like they pulled it off. I'd like to see them keep going with their relationship, into the other movies if we get that.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out. There will be more. So, well, cool, Alan. I'm glad you got to see it. And again, I hope that Ryan and I didn't ruin it for you.
You guys just kept me
ruin your enthusiasm, because we definitely did. We did to a degrry, because you didn't go see it in theaters. So
that's what I was fixing to say. You guys just kind of kept me from going to the theaters to see it. That was really all that happened. I really, I know that I aggravated you guys about ruining it for me, but I sat down completely open-minded to watch it. If anything, I was going to try to enjoy it a little bit more, just to aggravate you guys about it, but because you guys thought I'd love it. But and like I said, I didn't dislike it as much as I thought, gauging off of what you guys and some other people that I listened to. I didn't I loved it. I liked it more than what I felt like maybe you guys did. And then I didn't like it as much as, even some of the folks in our comment section here have been pretty high on the movie as well, and it was just kind of in the middle for me. I'll watch it again. Cal wants to finish it. So I don't know if that'll be, I looked at the timestamp on when he was going to bed so that he could finish it up. But I don't know. We may end up just starting it over. I don't know. We watched it in broad daylight, so it wasn't as, I guess, scary, on those elements. So he does want to finish it though. So I'll at least watch it once more. If not, it'll be one of those. and it may grow on me over time, and I may like it more and more. I don't know.
Yep, time will tell. I will be interested to see how a repeat viewing goes for me. I just haven't been motivated to do that. So I'll get there eventually. It'll probably Ryan and I were talking about this. It'll probably honestly just be like because I'm going to buy it. I'm a completionist, and again, it's not a bad movie, so I will. It's one that I will proudly buy. It's just not one that I'm rushing out to buy when it comes out on Blu-ray. Um, but yeah. Just to, I guess we had a few comments, and sorry we haven't been getting to the comments as much tonight. Obviously, Alan has had to participate a lot with his comments, and he hasn't been able to monitor as well, and I haven't either. So this is a Ryan job.
Yeah,
okay?
Ryan. I fill in when Ryan's not here, and I was giving a review very on the fly, so my bad, guys.
It is. We apologize, but Zach was asking about the Batgirl thing. I don't know. We talked about that earlier tonight, but we assume it's getting pushed. I'd heard that it was supposed to be this year, but that was before the Flash got pushed.
And honestly, I don't like speculating or gossiping, but given the recent news with Ezra, they could end up scrapping the Flash before it ever even sees the theater, and this could be the first time we see Keaton's and Batman. I really don't know. I mean, I doubt they'll do that, but
I don't think they're doing that.
Wow, there's a whole lot of craziness going on that way.
But yeah, we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, and then Dave was talking about Jeffrey Wright and Turturro. I love Turturro. I love Jeffrey Wright and everything he's done. I just didn't feel like they gave him a lot to do in this movie.
Not either.
But yeah. We shall see how that relationship with Gordon progresses. I definitely would like to see more of it, and seems like he's going to play a part in the Arkham series, or I know he was when it was a Gotham PD thing. So, talking dirty, Alan. I don't know what that's about.
You're talking about canceling the Flash. Is that what was that the dirty talk going
on? It is. Yeah. So anyway, all right. Anything else you want to say about the Batman before we move on from that?
Yeah, I agree with Dave. Dave said over here, he said needed to see more Alfred. I think so.
One got shortchanged.
I think so as well. There was a little scare moment because I didn't really talk to you guys any about the movie, and not to sound like a terrible cast member on CAPECAST here, but I did not watch y'all's review all the way through that you guys did. But I wanted to watch the movie, so I didn't want to completely ruin it for me. So I didn't know. I was like, oh my God, did they kill Alfred? I had that moment there. It didn't last very long because they didn't leave you hanging. But it was, I don't know. I felt like his portrayal of Alfred was fine. I've just grown so accustomed to Irons, and it's hard to beat. It's hard to pull away from that dynamic for me. Yeah. But I liked, and that was something that I guess if I was going to add anything else, that would have been that I did like the portrayal of Bruce Wayne, to where he really was at the point in his tenure as Batman that he didn't care what was happening as far as Wayne Enterprise and the money. That he wasn't worried about any of that, and everything was kind of falling apart around him. That was different.
Saw that in Batman Begins, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Well, but the company was still going on. This made it seem, this version made it seem more or less like Wayne Enterprise was going belly up, and he had kind of, in Batman Begins, he kind of walked right into, being a billionaire, and, and this version, he might have been a millionaire. Anyway, we don't really know where he was financially. So there were some elements there that were a little different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Cool. Well, Alan, And I'm directing this to you once again. Any physical media, because I got none.
You guys are going to have to look at our Twitter account for the physical media, because I forgot it downstairs. I just bought a comic. I don't know if you guys have read it yet, and I know that Jeff Johns is attached to it, so it might kind of turn people away from the beginning. But Flashpoint, it's Flashpoint Beyond, the new series that's out right now, and the first issue was pretty cool. I love the Flashpoint story, so I'm interested to see where this one goes. But bought that, and then the Easter Bunny came, so Cal got Superboy issue 0, which is the first appearance of King Shark. It came out in like June of '94, I believe. So the Easter Bunny brought him that, and King Shark, they did a little mini run of his for the Suicide Squad. They did like a 6-issue arc, and he, for some reason, was missing issue 5. I had been buying every one of them for him. So, hey, there it is. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for the save there, Brendan.
You bet.
But and then
did you post the King Shark thing?
I didn't. I'll get to it. I'll throw those up there. I didn't want to take credit for Cal's comic books. I'll ask his permission, but I know I'm just playing. But and then King Shark, then King Shark issue 5, and I actually, the Easter Bunny was able to kill 2 birds with one stone.
Oh, way to go, Easter Bunny!
Picked up the variant cover that had Peacemaker and Judo Master on the cover from the Peacemaker TV show. It was a variant issue. So
nice.
Yeah, he's still on that thing. That whole thing, that whole Peacemaker thing.
Yeah.
So
give it time.
But yeah, that was it for us. So
word. Well, let's see. I guess the one last thing to touch upon is the release schedule of some nerd stuff coming up. Doctor Strange, obviously, is the next one, May 6th, and then Thor: Love and Thunder, which we talked about earlier tonight, in July, and then DC League of Super Pets. Out of the 3, we haven't talked about this slate. We usually do this once we get something new added. What's your most anticipated, excited for out of the 3?
To be honest, a few weeks ago, it was probably Super Pets, but Doctor Strange is really into the Multiverse of Madness. It's really kind of growing on me as far as my excitement level goes. Like I said, we still don't know anything about it, really, but it's kind of pretty obvious that we're going to get the Illuminati in this, and that's going to be cool to see what they pull out of the Fox universe, or the older Marvel stuff that Disney's put out. So that one's going to be fun. And then I know it didn't give away a whole lot, but the look of Thor: Love and Thunder was pretty nice too. So Doctor Strange, and then I'm going to put a tie for second with the other 2 movies. So
cool. Yeah, I think I'm about the same. Doctor Strange, and it's more intrigue than anything. And also, I think there's, just like with the first one, the visual nature of Strange as a character and what that kind of entails as far as the cinematic language. There's a lot of cool stuff that could be mined from that movie, with the addition of the whole multiverse stuff. So, even though the trailers haven't gotten me stoked for it, I feel like that's by design. And I hope that it works out in my favor. So Doctor Strange for me, and then Super Pets I'm excited for because I got a kiddo, and Thor: Love and Thunder it's not that I'm not excited about it. I'm just it's coming out.
We will here in this house, we'll be there opening weekend to see that one, Mandy. As much as Zack Snyder's Justice League is my comfort food that I play when I want to have something on in the background, I couldn't tell you the amount of times that Thor Ragnarok has been playing when I walk in the door to Mandy, cooking dinner, cleaning the house, or whatever she's done. That's, or just sitting down watching it. She loves that movie. So yeah,
cool. Well, maybe that's your next cosplay instead of Witcher. Thor.
Either hey, I could be
short hair. You want to do?
I could be Dude Thor. I could be Dude Thor. I could pull that one off.
There you go.
No working out required.
There you go. All right. Before we get out of here, we would be remiss if we didn't say that you guys should definitely subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bells, when we're streaming, all that jazz. Comment down below if you weren't here for the live show. Definitely drop us a comment if you have any feedback on the episode. And then as far as the rest of the channel, just go to CiNEMACHiNEPod.com. You'll find links to everything, all our social platforms, in addition to our Patreon, where if you feel like throwing us some dollars, you can do so. But I guess that's about it. We'll be here Thursday with CiNEMAChine, and hopefully, if all goes as planned, we'll be doing that episode 4 recap of Moon Knight. So be on the lookout for that. Hopefully, we'll be able to post that on Friday, if all goes as planned. But you never know with us.
Yeah.
So we may not even review it.
We shoot from the hip.
Yeah. So. For myself, for Alan, appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate everybody that was here live commenting. Sorry that we weren't able to address all the comments. We're a man short, and we do what we can here. But we do appreciate the conversation and look forward to see you guys in the upcoming weeks here at CAPECAST for for all that lovely comic book talk that we get to do with you guys. So appreciate you. But until next time, we'll see ya. Bye, Alan.
See you guys.